Hi everyone, Sabrina here with something a little bit different. I haven't done one of these for a very long time. This is basically an unboxing. That's me and my husband, we are sharing this one, have signed up to the Broken Binding Sci-Fi and Fantasy subscription. So it's a bi-monthly one at the moment and you get a mixture of fantasy and sci-fi books. So last month we got, well not last month, September, we got a fantasy book, which was The New Witcher, which is gorgeous. In fact, I can show you that. So this is the Broken Binding version of The Witcher. Beautiful sprayed edges. This is Crossroads of Ravens. Now I'll take the jacket off. Oh, they are, if I get it in the light, you can see that. That's quite effective. Thank you, window. So that's really nice, isn't it? We have a themed Broken Binding sticker, and that's the front pages. Yes, you can see that. It's so gorgeous. We have the back pages. Trying really hard not to crack the spine. And each chapter I've just seen is illustrated beautifully like that. So we have treated ourselves to that subscription. It does mean I will be stopping my locked library subscription because I'm sorry, I can't justify having more than one book box. That's just me. If you have more than one book box, do not take that as a dig. If you're happy and it's not causing you grief, then you have as many as you want. Anyway, so that was the fantasy one that they sent. And then last week we received this. This is obviously sci-fi. This is All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu. So as you can see, very, very pretty. Sprayed edges. Let's take off its jacket. Beautiful blue. I'll put it in the, there, light. That's very nice. On the back we have a quote: "By the logic of the social media age, anyone caught within the frame of a camera ceased to be human." Yeah, we're not far off, are we? So again, tie-in sticker, thank you. Front pages. Back pages. They're just so beautiful, aren't they? And these chapters, they just have some, ooh, that look cool. Like digital, the circuit boards, they've got circuitry coming down and things. Also, these books all come with a ribbon bookmark, which is very pretty. So this has got like a grey ribbon bookmark in it, which is really, really nice. I have read one Witcher book before. So I have read, I think I've read Blood of Elves. I think that's the one I read. It's the one in the library. And I remember enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to reading the Witcher book. And Ken Liu, what's Dandelion Dynasty. They're the pretty books, aren't they? I don't think I've read anything by Ken yet. No, I haven't. Dandelion Dynasty, obviously I saw the pretty Illumicray editions, I think it was, and thought they are really nice, but I can't justify the price for a book series I've never read before. And they're also really big, like huge books. So this will be interesting because obviously it's not a humongous book, so I can read this quite quickly. And it'll be kind of cool to read like some proper, I'm thinking, cyberpunky sci-fi, which I haven't done for a little while, so that'll be nice. So the Broken Binding Sci-Fi and Fantasy subscription, quite impressed. You know, first two choices very different from each other, but definitely living up to the fantasy and the sci-fi, which I think might be the reason why I'm glad we've got onto this one, because a lot of the book boxes that I've been signed up with before, so obviously with Fairy Loot I was with a very, very long time, and then the Locked Library, they're really pretty books, and they started off as fantasy, but they've moved more and more to, I would say, romantasy. The fantasy side has kind of been almost pushed and the romance is being pushed to the forefront. Locked Library I don't think is as bad as Fairy Loot was getting. They do still have a lot of, these are fantasy books first, and there are some really beautiful ones down there, but to be honest, a special edition book every single month, I can't keep up. I mean, going through a reading slump again, just so infuriated. It's my second one this year and I'm so infuriated with myself. I have a wonderful book on the go at the moment, Firstborn of the Sun, absolutely loving it, and I've been trying to savour it because I'm enjoying it so much, and obviously it's the first in a series, but I haven't finished it yet, and I started at the beginning of November and we're what, 16th, 15th now? Oh no, where are we? 13th? Something like that. And I haven't finished it, and it's like, come on, 2 weeks to read a book? I've read one manga this month and that's it. Some of that is tiredness, and some of that is I have so many books. I'm almost feeling overwhelmed again with how many books I have. And before someone comes and says, look, you have too many books, why don't you just stop buying them? Yeah, that's easier said than done. I have a lot of authors I want to support. I have author-by authors. I have authors as well that I want to support, that if we don't support, we won't get any more books from them. And a lot of those authors are authors of colour, quite simply. And authors of colour in particular, women authors of colour in the fantasy genre, if we don't support their debut books, they tend to not get the publicity and the marketing that other authors in that genre get. So Firstborn of the Sun, which is an amazing book written by Marvellous Michael and Want to Say Johnson. I will put it underneath in the box because I can't remember her full name off the top of my head. It's an amazing looking book. It's a gorgeous book. It's an amazingly immersive fantasy story based on her heritage, and it's wonderful and complex and doesn't patronise your author. You're not being spoon-fed stuff in here. You're not being handheld. You are being given the information, thrust into this world, and you run with it. And I love stories that do that. But I'm barely hearing anyone talk about this book. It is an amazing book. It is so well written. It's the characters you feel for, you're angry with, you're frowning at and going, why are you being so stupid? They are so human. And the world that we have in it is amazing. And I'm aware that this unboxing has just become a talk about this wonderful book. I will do a review on it when I finish it, I promise. But because it's a debut fantasy novel from a black woman in a genre where black women are not particularly marketed or promoted very well, I've brought her book in order to read it, talk about it, to be able to sell it at my shop, because I want other people to discover amazing authors that perhaps aren't getting the love that they need or deserve. So yeah, so I buy a lot of books for many different reasons. And while I can buy books and it's not a problem, I'm going to keep buying books because frankly, I will be poor for most of my life, which means I won't be able to buy books. So while I can, I'm going to, and then I will get to these books at some point in the future. That got very ranty. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we have a new subscription box, which hopefully will give us that balance of fantasy and sci-fi, because my husband likes sci-fi, I like fantasy. So we're both going to get pretty books on our shelves in genres that we both like. And so far, Broken Binding have done very well. I've been very impressed. Their books are some of the most prettiest on the market out there. They're amazing. Please go and check them out. They do have a website. They do have overstock sales, so you can get some of those special edition books on their website. But they also support a lot of independent fantasy, sci-fi and horror authors. Yeah, just go and have a look at them and go see what they're doing, because they are really cool. And no, I'm not being paid by them. This is just me generally saying I think they are really, really good. There we go. Have you signed up with any Broken Binding subscriptions? Let me know. And have you read either of these books yet? Please let me know your thoughts on them. No spoilers, because, you know, we're River Songs here. We don't do spoilers. And thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Bye.